This is Bridger Fates with University of Wyoming Extension. Are you thinking about expanding your cow herd? How much can you afford to pay for a bred cow? The Wyoming Ranch Tools site has a cow valuation tool that can help you make that decision. Let's take a look at that now.
Cow valuation calculator was designed by Dr. John Ritton, along with Steve Paisley, Brian Lee, and myself. The way this cow valuation tool works is you enter some key information here, and then based on the number of calves you think that cow is going to have in her lifetime, we calculate values over here. So I'll go through this example real quick. And, this is a real common question that I get over the years. How much can I afford to pay for a bred heifer, young pairs, older cows? And this calculator really can answer any of those questions. So first, you'll enter your annual cow cost per cow. It's a number that some of you have. Some of you don't have that off the top of your head. There are averages that get reported through USDA, so you can look at some of those averages, but as close as you can get to what it costs you to run a cow annually is really going to be helpful in this calculator. Then you enter the sell weight of your calves. How much do your calves weigh when you sell them? You enter the current calf price. In this example, we have them in there at $185. Then you enter your cull cow weight. We have this one at 1,100. Cull cow price, 85 cents is where we have in this example. The discount rate, which is that interest rate, or another way to think about it in this calculator really is a return on investment. So if I want a 7% return on my investment when I buy these cows, I could enter that in there in the discount rate. And then a weaning percentage. So enter your average weaning percentage. And then what the model does is says, maybe this cow is just a short-term, older cow that you bought that's only going to have 2 calves in her lifetime before you sell her again. So if she's only going to have 2 calves for you, then if constant cattle prices, so if you think that calf price at $1.85 or $185 a hundredweight is going to be fairly constant, then you can afford to pay $1,400 for that cow right now. If you think those prices are going to decrease 5% per year, she's really only worth about $1,300 to you right now. Or if you think they're going to increase 5% per year, then those calf prices, then she might be worth $1,480 for you. If a cow is going to have 5 calves for you in her lifetime, maybe you bought a bred heifer and you're expecting to get, we expect to get 8 or 9 calves out of every cow. Unfortunately, that's not the case. The national average is somewhere just above 4 calves per cow. You think about if you're culling 20% per year, it really does work out to about that number. And, we lose a lot of cows in that first year that don't get bred back after their heifers, that only have 1 calf, and they really bring down the average. So if we're thinking about 5 as a good conservative number to think about in terms of what you can afford to buy, either 4 or 5 is probably the number you should use. But in this example, you could afford to pay $1,800 for that cow if she gave you 4 calves, or $1,900 if she gave you 5. Now, I think it's really important in this model to think about your annual cow cost. So cow costs can really vary between producers, and it's not unusual to see a $200 difference in cow costs. So if we keep an eye on this number, right now we can afford to pay $1,800 for that cow if our annual cow costs are $600. What if our annual cow costs are $200 more? So we'll put in there $800. Now we can only afford to pay $1,129. So that's a significant drop in terms of what we can afford to pay and still, make a 7% return on our investment on that cow. So that's the way this cow value calculator works. It's a calculator that gets used quite a bit on the website, and hopefully you will find it valuable. There is also a U value calculator if you have sheep. It's on this other tab here. So cow valuation calculator, great calculator to get an idea of how much you can afford to pay for cows. Now, certainly once you get that value, you can go out, you find an above average set of cows, maybe you can pay above average, price for them. If you're just buying them out of your local auction barn and kind of putting together a set and they're below average type cattle, maybe you shouldn't pay as much as this calculator comes out. So hopefully you'll find this cow valuation tool useful, and please tune in to our other YouTube series of videos on the other tools and calculators available on the Wyoming Ranch Tools site. Thanks.